like Carroll Quigley said, who was the historian for the Council on Foreign Relations for a while, he said that that means the Institute, have no problems conversing and working with communists, capitalists, dictators, and so on, and frequently do so. And they do, because they're all part of it, you see at the top. Now, the whole idea of this dominion, this political commonwealth they had of Britain, was set up not just to be a commonwealth, but to eventually bring in other countries. They knew that to change the name of their organization, eventually creating the League of Nations. The League of Nations was funded into existence by the British government, even though the United States put capital in as well and pretended not to take part in it after Wilson. They did take part in it. They had so-called unofficial members at every meeting. The League of Nations was to be the embryo based on the British system of world government. And they knew that they'd have to, a very hard task to convince the populace of the world to accept it. They had to get a different name. It couldn't be allied to Britain or the United States or any of the colonial powers, so that they give it a new name under the guise of a knight in shining armor. It's a trick that's been used down through the centuries. But it was definitely set up to be the embryo of world government, based on the British system of free trade and interdependence, a concept going back to John Dee, who first coined the term British or British Empire and proposed this system, the Queen Elizabeth I, of a world empire. To sell the idea of a world empire, you must bring in all leaders from all groups. And when you don't have enough groups to give it some sort of public official backing, then you create the groups that speak on public's behalf. But you always make sure that you put in the leader. Old technique. At these meetings, anyone who was anyone in decision making in the country, any country, was present. From left wing, right wing, far left, far right, and up and down. They all belonged to it, dictators too. So Britain and the empire was to be the basis for a League of Nations, which was to transform with more power after